Welcome back, Pizza Dogs. It's Z-Reezy here with another episode of our Cities Skylines series, Vanilla Vista. In episode 3, we'll be focusing on farming industry, new neighborhoods, and the introduction of our first public transportation system, a tram line. Throughout the episode, we'll be cultivating our land, establishing farms, designing vibrant neighborhoods, and connecting our city with a convenient tram network. We'll also be making various tweaks and improvements to enhance our city's functionality and aesthetics. By the end of the episode, we'll achieve a significant milestone, Big Town. So join me as we embark on this journey of farming, neighborhood planning, tramline construction, and exciting city tweaks. Let's continue crafting our dream city in Vanilla Vista. As always, I appreciate your continued support. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Now let's dive in and make this episode a memorable step in our city building adventure. Welcome to episode 3 of Vanilla Vista. Continuing where we left off, I let the simulation run for a little bit so we could get some money in the bank for this episode, as well as just unlocking this busy town milestone that we were just about to reach at the end of the last episode. With this unlock, we now get a bunch of new features, new services available for us. We have some specializations for districts. We also have a bunch of new policies. You can always click in here in the bottom to open up your policies and see what's available. We have now a bunch of city planning policies. One that I always like to turn on pretty much for every city default across the whole city is encourage biking. This will cut down on various motor traffic and encourage people to bike. Really useful for just kind of cutting down some of that traffic. So we're gonna turn that on across the board. You can always turn these on per district as we've shown in a previous episode, but I like to turn this one on just blanket across the whole city. So then we also have a bunch of new roads. So some of them also have like bike lanes, different decorations, great for cutting down noise pollution, other various features. They have different costs to them, but really useful. So we have all those. We have a bunch of new buildings we have access to, a bunch of unlocks. So Busy Town is a great milestone, lots of stuff unlocks, and we can now utilize a lot of that stuff. So let's dive in. So we left off with our war industry at level 4, about to hit level 5. I think everything's kind of running smoothly for now on that. I'm not going to touch that too much just yet. Let that keep going. And if any problems arise, we can always add on to that or change that. Looks like maybe we need to add some production, but let's let that run, do its thing. I think what we're going to also do now is expand, and we have our ore industry here, but we have some really good fertile ground right here. So you always can look at your right here by open up your natural resources. You can kind of see where we have some oil over here, our ores right here in the blue, and in the green, yellowish, we have our fertile land for farming. So let's start up some farming over here. Let's get this kind of rolling. And just like the last one with ore, it has its own leveling up system. So we want to kind of get that started earlier just so we can have that throughout the episode kind of upgrade and everything. So I'm going to cut this one back. You have to have its own area for the different industries. So that's just going to be the ore one. So let's kind of now paint this area to have our farming industry, and we can always refine this stuff later. Again, not have to be perfect, but just like to do the whole arching area so we don't have to revisit it just yet. So get that. You can always rename that later. And then let's start off with just a dirt road. So we're going to bring this out, make sure I have everything set up here, and we're going to bring it out from this road that we had. Just kind of bring it straight out. My thinking is most of our farming stuff is going to be over here, so let's maybe plan this road to come out and follow this one parallel a little bit. Not gonna be perfect, that's fine. Okay, so now we have that, and now we can place our first industry building from the farming. So this one, it's going to pop the main farming building, which we'll put right here in the corner. And then great, we've now unlocked the basic starting stuff for the farms. This is great. So we have our grain silo, which is for storage, some pasture, some crops, some fruit fields. I'm thinking we might do is instead of a farming area, we can use the style of the fruit trees. So kind of make it more of an orchard, maybe some farming to it, but also, have it a little bit mixed. So let's pause the game. We're gonna have to get water and power to this and build out some areas for our trees. Let's bring this one out. And let's kind of look and see how this looks here. So, okay, so it'll be too tight to do on that side. So maybe we could do is kind of have a row of trees on this side. And maybe to make this kind of look bigger, let's see here, we could do another one. And we'll change the styles here in a second. I'll show you how to do that. Let's see how this looks. It has one gap. Let's go one more over. And that, perfect. Okay, so that's great. So that will be back to back here. So we can boot this. And then we're going to change all the styles. The appearance is, again, kind of like the other one. You can kind of change different styles. The greenhouse, pears, oranges. I'm going to do apples. I like this style of apples. So bring all these to apples. Those are going to have like kind of an orchard vibe to it. So it kind of makes it look, if you kind of do like this back to back, it makes it look like there's long lines of trees. So it's going to do another 2 rows of that. So that goes out 18 units. So let's go again, 18 units just to kind of find that spot. Maybe we'll do, to make it look like there's at least one kind of processing building, maybe we'll put one greenhouse on the corner. So maybe this one can be a greenhouse, the rest can be over here. So kind of have, looks like it has one processing building. And then we're going to bring this one down a little bit. So the point of this probably will be stuff like, maybe we'll have a few grain silos for storage. Like so that can all get fed into there. And then we can also see, so this produces crops. So the regular plant style kind of does crops as well as the trees. And then those can feed into pastures for animals to feed them. Maybe we'll have a few of those. I think those can fit. Let's see if we can kind of plop something for the animals. How's that look? Maybe back here. So maybe a few, let's see how this can fit. I don't like the look of that. Yeah, we'll just do 2 for now. And we'll bring that around. So now we can have some cows and maybe some pigs. That'd be nice. That looks good. And just to make it so they're both not connected to the same area, let's do it so one faces that side of the road and the other one faces this side of the road. We have our pigs and our cows. Cool. And then now let's get power set up for this whole area. So good. So I think we have what we need. That's going to start processing. We can let that run in the background, just like the other one. You're going to get crops, and then that can be, we can make some processing buildings later for flour, but for now it's going to go to animal products. And this will probably pretty quickly unlock to the next level where we can then start adding more features. So we'll have the crops start to run, and then from there, those will feed into, the raw materials will feed into the pastures, and then we'll kind of keep exporting stuff there. One other little thing we'll do is just for our industry to protect it from any problems. Let's also add just a quick little firehouse over in this little area, maybe a old style fire station right on the corner, maybe over here. So we can have that there available to help service that little area if anything comes up, any problems or anything. Now from there, what I want to do is some major upgrades to our main roads and start kind of doing some planning for some public transportation and everything. So this is where I think a key part of city building in Cities Skylines is to never be afraid to redo things. Nothing needs to be set in stone. Oh, and we already hit milestone too. I'll come back to that in a few. So never be afraid to make changes, do different things, switch things up as your city evolves. There's lots of different reasons you need to, from traffic patterns to the population, everything that needs to upgrade. So what I think we're going to do is upgrade this main road to kind of have a little more style to it, like adding either decorations, maybe some biking, some other stuff. And then I think we're also going to have this be a main road across the way here. So then that way we can kind of have a main street on this road coming perpendicular to this other road. So let's work on that and we'll kind of see what kind of things we can do with that. Since we're encouraging biking, I think I'm going to go with this 4-lane road with decorative trees and bicycle lanes. So we're encouraging that biking. So let's upgrade these road to that type. So we're just going to go all the way down. And then remember we did the special zoning on this little area. So we make sure turn off zoning for that little section. And then one cool feature you can do is it has these default trees. What we can do is we can always come in here, pick a different tree style. So let's maybe do, I like the generic pine. So we can change those out to be, you just click an upgrade tool and we can have a generic pine style for those trees. That adds a little bit more, a little bigger spacing to them. Now we have biking coming all the way across our city here, which is nice. Now we're gonna have to do that across this one. So this one's a little bit different because we're upgrading it from a 2-lane road. You can see from like a small road to medium road, some of these things are gonna be affected. So we're gonna have to do some rebuilding here and some rezoning. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause the game just for this. So as you can tell, it's not the end of the world, but we have, got some widening to do here. It's totally fine. So let's just pick our road, we might change this here in a minute, but for now, let's just, to get it upgraded, let's do a 4-lane decorative grass road. So again, we're gonna lose some stuff in here. We'll just kind of do that as we go. Some things like these place buildings, we're gonna have to move temporarily to put back in. So that's also totally fine. Happens, nothing to stress about. We'll kind of go to these areas. So now what we can do is temporarily, cost a little bit of money. So just make sure you have a little bit in the bank, move that over here. And then now we can go back and move this park. And then now we can upgrade the road and now we can bring it back and place it. So it looks like we might have some spacing because this is now wider. It's not going to fit here. So why don't we put that maybe right here next to the elder care, have a little park there. So when people come and visit their grandparents. For our school, I think for this one, we might need to just bring that down here. Maybe some of this parking might need to move. Might need to delete some of that. Let's bring this park here. Let's see if we can fit. Yeah, perfect. So that upgrade's right there. Now we may put this parking lot right in here. It's a little bit different, but that's totally fine. But I think we've got, and this last zone was the public library. So let's move that. This one may not fit in that area. Same with this park. We'll see here if that is possible. So let's just kind of look again, by the way, to see if we miss any spots. Yeah, I don't think this will fit anymore here. So that's okay. Sometimes we have to get rid of stuff. So maybe what we can do is we have our one little high school over here. We can kind of do is just so we have some education in this area. Maybe we can pick one of the alternative schools. So maybe I'm thinking potentially this, we have a elementary school over here. So maybe we could pick this creative arts one, put it right here. That's fine. So it kind of looks like a library. We can kind of act like it's a library, even though it's technically not, which is totally fine. And this is not going to let us put it next to it, which is also fine. So let's just kind of adjust this pathway to kind of go a bit closer to the railroad. Also totally fine. No right or wrong way to do this stuff. So it's kind of nice. You can kind of just up things how you need. Maybe for now, we'll bring this all the way over here and bring it down in the pathway. So then now that we have done those upgrades, what we should do is go in and fix our, we gotta fix our building. So instead of making these too small, we want to have maybe a bit bigger size. So I think that looks good now. We have our zoning fixed and our roads fixed. Oh, this park. We forgot to move this park, so let's bring that back over here. Get rid of that. Put that right here. Those should connect to that. Fantastic. So now as we let that run, those buildings will pop back in there and things will kind of get rebuilt, which is, again, totally fine that happens. We can take a look now back at our farming, which now is at a level 2, which is fantastic. So let's go back into our farming industrial tab. And then here we now have the ability to add workers barracks. So let's kind of add a few of those scattered in here. So those don't take up too much room. So let's kind of put a few of those right in here. So we'll have lots of little barracks so we can get our worker levels up. And then it looks like we also still need more production for our crops. So let's see what other available we have. I think we can make flour now. Yep, so we can make flour. So let's say we have a production building right over here. And then we might just need a few extra. Maybe we'll have just a few regular crops over here. And we can do, for these, we can make those look like, I think potatoes is one I like, or maybe it's, yeah, potatoes I think has a good texture. So let's do potatoes across all of these. Yeah, we'll have another greenhouse there. Just again, make it look like visually that it's a little processing building at the end of there. So that should help get us going again for that. Those go really fast. I mean, actually, we're about to hit level 3, so we'll just stay here for a second while it hits level 3 in just a few seconds here. And look, quickly hit level 3. So now we can do unique factories. We can also have some other processing plants. What I like to do now is, now that we have these mediums, is those are about 2 width. So we can take out 2 of these and then put in the space of that 1 medium size, which is nice because it just kind of adds these extra little buildings. So again, kind of makes it look like, kind of like we did with the greenhouse, just add some variety in there. We have that, and then we can also add in a small barn. So it's gonna have just a little small barn here for more holding up some of these crops. Should be apples. And again, we can do the same thing here. So just kind of adds a building to the potato industry here. But great. And then again, this goes really fast. I feel like the farming goes a lot quicker than the ore. So we'll just let that run, do its thing. And it looks like maybe we do have some processing issues with our ore. So let's go ahead and just add some more ore processing back in here. And I think what we could also even do is add in, bring this over, and we'll have some more storage, and we'll just kind of bring that over. Have a place for them to bring some water over. And now we can have some extra storage area for over here, which will be fantastic. So yeah, let all that run, keep going. See how this is kind of coming back to our main avenue. So this is all looking good. Need some workers, and that's fine. Some of the stuff will get rebalanced out. We need lots of, looks like we're really high on residential. So I think we might need to do some upgrades here. So let's take our road. We can upgrade some of these various dirt roads to kind of get this leveled up around here. Now that that's leveled up, I also think we still need quite a bit of demand for for residential. So let's maybe add another little neighborhood over here that can kind of be maybe some more rural area. This one will be dirt road. So let's first flatten this area over here, and we'll see how this kind of looks. Get this flattened out. We'll bring this around. This can be expensive, so just be careful. Sometimes that can get really costly really fast. So we'll use dirt roads for this and bring this out. I think what it makes sense is to turn off zoning for this road, so we can kind of have all that zoning dedicated to this back neighborhood. And it looks like we're getting a little backed up here, so let's make sure we turn off this junction. We don't really need a stoplight or stop signs or anything. Make sure those are all stop signs. And with this, we can just bring out a few different neighborhoods. Do just kind of cul-de-sacs off of this. Again, make it a little bit more rural. We don't want that to look too bumpy, so maybe we can always change this up a little bit, bring this back. Want those to kind of look pretty flat. Okay. And this area is going to need water, so we're going to need to bring some water in. Fantastic. And then we can start doing some zoning. Make sure again that this little area is all dedicated to these roads on the side and not zoning on this main avenue. That should help, so that extra little demand over in this area, get people. Looks like we don't have enough buyers, so that's totally fine. We can always add more stuff around here. So let's see here. Let's maybe add, what's in our ore. Let's go to our tab for a milking parlor. Maybe a cattle shed. Put that over here. Another flour mill. Fantastic. So that should help have a reason to have more of these resources around here. So I think with this main road, it might be kind of cool to introduce a little bit of a public transportation tram to this whole loop. So I kind of have a few ideas, and maybe even if we're thinking further ahead, to have another connection to the highway over here to get, so it's not just this one off of this on and off ramps. So let's start thinking about that and start looking at our options here. I think our tram, trolley bus maybe might be a fun option. Let's look and see what we have unlocked. I think tram's a cool one. I haven't done tram much, so I think it'd be kind of cool to try something different. So one thing that's interesting about tram is you can't cross the railroad tracks. So you'll notice here if we try to upgrade, it will tell you can't cross these roads or tracks cannot cross each other. So we will have to kind of do some different types of ways to get around or under this. Maybe I'm thinking just this little tunnel. That may be kind of cool. So let's go ahead and first place down where we're going to have the tram depot, which I think it might be good to have it over in this little corridor over here on the industrial side. So yeah, so this one basically gives us tram in the middle and then one-way road or two-way lane roads on the sides. Okay, so that's good. So let's go ahead and now upgrade that. We're gonna make kind of a loop here. So let's bring, maybe this would be a good spot to do that at. So let's take a look maybe around there. So this whole thing is gonna be upgraded tram roads. And then maybe right in here so we could kind of do the loop. So let's bring this, let's actually just go ahead and pause it on this while we're doing this kind of bigger changes. Now we have that. Now we can go down. Let's step down, put like our tunnel right here. Go over just a little bit and then bring it back up. Well, I gotta fix a few things here. So fix up some of this shrubbery, totally fine. Let's fix this little pathway. Cool. So that pathway still goes around there. And then same with this. Let's upgrade this crossed. And then we're gonna now need to upgrade this to a tram 4-lane road. Let's see what options we have. Maybe something with, we don't want a 6-lane. There's a 4-lane with bicycle. It's 2. That might be kind of nice. So tram in the middle, no parking. Yeah, let's do that. This will be good. I think for this part, we don't necessarily need this last little bit to be, we can put that back to just being I don't know, maybe let's do a little decorative like that. Those don't need tram roads. We can now put down our tram line. So why don't we start it right around here in this industrial area? We'll have 2 loops going each direction. That would be good. Just basically spacing these out and just kind of, we might play with these later, but I want to get some general spacing on how this will look. My thinking is that people can then now go on the tram, get to where they need. Yep. And then let's look at the 2 lines that we did. Let's do a blue line and a purple line. You can change the type of tram as well. So I think it might be good to have the higher capacity. Let's do 140. And yeah, at the beginning, let's see if probably do like 4 for our tram instead of having 6 of them. So we can change that by adjusting our modifier. Great, so we press play again. And now trams will start to come out. Oh, there they go. One will be going that direction, the other will be going the opposite direction. And then only other than this spot will the trams be blocking the cars. They shouldn't be blocking the cars anywhere else because they'll be in the middle of the road. So yeah, that should be great. So we're going to see a lot of leveling up. There might be a few things. I don't know how loud. It looks like some people are complaining about the noise pollution. So let's just see. Might be a few loud spots, maybe because of the commercial here. So we can always get rid of that commercial right there. Oh, and it looks like maybe we need to up our garbage again. Let's grab one of those real fast and plop that down. To help with that processing there. Great, so now we have a nice little tram loop. So get some public transportation going. We should help see that with the cars usage. Let's kind of look at where that's looking at right now. So we're about 93 traffic flow. So that'll help, I think, once we start to see. Let's look and see the usage of it so far. 23 people. We might, cut down a few lines. Looks like a few stops aren't necessarily needed. Let's look at those steps are kind of close. So So maybe not, maybe we can alternate those. We'll let that run, see how it goes. And let's go back to our farming as we hit level 4 over here. Still just have lots of goods, nowhere to go. It's totally fine. I don't think that's like necessarily a bad problem to have. I'd rather have that than the no goods. So we can kind of just keep upping the reasons to have, you know, we can have the slaughterhouse here. So that will get more crop usage. Might even do is in some of these balanced ones, let's just do empty so that those are getting sold. One thing we can do to kind of get use for these crops and everything, since they're not getting a ton of use right now and kind of keep people complaining about not being able to sell that, we can actually make some unique factories. So this is a really cool feature, a part of the Industries DLC. So what we can do is let's bring out this road here. I'm gonna show you something neat we can do. And let's bring this connection here. And what we can do is go into our tab of unique factories. And we basically can produce now different things based on the products that we're making. So for example, right now we can do the bakery because we have crops, flour, and meat. So we could plop that down maybe over here. Right over here. Another one we could do, I think, is the lemonade factory because we have glass and crops. That's a really big boy. So let's put that maybe over here. We'll have this kind of go around it. And then I think there's another factory we can make, which is we don't have plastic yet from oil, so we can't do the electronics, we can't do clothing. We can do the industrial steel plant. Okay, so that's another big boy as well. So you can see how this looks if we bring this. Just some different ways to frame all this area. There are roads. That should help get really good use because we're gonna have metals now pumping out steel products. We're gonna have a lemonade being made. So you can make a ton of money from this stuff too. So it's really good, useful ways to make some money. Might just add a few trees down here as well. Basically have our plants and stuff right here. And also makes sense is eventually when we do oil, we can bring this out over here and do our oil over there. That'd be nice. One thing we talked about doing is to get another way into the city. This isn't backed up yet or anything, but I think it'd be good to preemptively get another entrance here in the city over here. So let's bring that road out. Let's first upgrade this tram road to be the 4. So let's pause the game and go underground. Get this all upgraded. So now it's a 4 tram. And then what we can do is then, let's get paused. Bring this road out. Let's just do like the medium is fine, I think now. And then to do this, what we can do is have on this side going out about 5 units from the highway. Go to about level 12, right? Bring this over, and I think it's the same, yep. 5 out. I think that looks good. Yeah. And then we can do is bring this down. So a trick to this is to only go to about 3 meters, and you can go a little bit further to make this look nicer. So let's go out 25 to 3. So go out 25 to 3. And then from there, we'll just go out another, let's see here, the 18. We'll go out 12 to get to back down to 0. And then we can connect with all these. Fantastic. So now we have this nice kind of gradual bridge to go across. And then we can do is just have just a basic on and offs here. So I don't think we're gonna do anything fancy. I think if anything, actually, it might just be an on and on ramp to here. So let's see what we can do. Nothing too fancy, just kind of doing a little tweaking just so we have just some basic off and on ramps here. Gives another reason for people to be able to take this industrial over and out of the city that way. And speaking of, let's get some of this upgraded as well. We forgot to do that, so we can upgrade some of this. There we go, fantastic. So now we just have another exit entrance to the city. People might need to get off and get on there. Totally fine. And then I think from there we can also, it looks like we're still just really have a high demand for residential. So maybe what we could do is build out just another little small neighborhood, kind of a rural neighborhood over here, out in this new little area we have. Well, just a nice little fence here to this neighborhood. Get some backing. And then from here, we can just fill this in. So again, just get us more population going over in this area. It adds a little more another rural neighborhood to us. Maybe we could do is add a little park and some different things kind of spread out and around here. Maybe like a little dog park. Oh, and nice, we hit level 5 for our food. We can do a food factory. I don't know. Let's take a look and see real fast why that grows in. If the food factory, we have everything we need to make that. I don't know if we do. No, we don't. We don't have plastics. Okay, so can't do the food factory yet. And I think we can maybe still do another park or something over here. Maybe a bigger park. Let's see, a park with trees. Yeah, that's nice. One thing that would also be nice is maybe it's a little bit of education, just to plop another small educational school down. Elementary school, maybe we can put that over here by our park. Help out these residents over here, make sure they have access to school. We can also look and see if there's any policies that make sense for us to do. Always boost connections is a good one for getting more tourist stuff in. Let's see here, do we get, I don't know if we're making money off public transportation. We might all do free public transportation. Yeah, here it is. We're making good money, so let's just flip that on. That'll encourage people to use it even more. So increase use and no ticket income, which is totally fine. What else do we have here? Yeah, I think that's looking good. A few other just buildings I don't think we've plopped down that can be useful sometimes is the road maintenance. Yeah, I don't think we have this one down, so let's pop this down. So just a nice building that boosts roads. So that's a good one. And then same with our park maintenance. I don't know if we have the park maintenance building. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. So we can plop that down. This is a big boy, so maybe we can plop. Let's see, here's a spot for that. Plop that right into there. These are great buildings to boost parks and roads, get people moving faster. One of the last few things I want to accomplish in this episode is just building out one more kind of pathway of where this road is going to lead around this bin. I think we're eventually going to have a park there, but for now, let's just kind of take a look and see what this is going to do. I think we need to look at our terrain, kind of follow this around. So we don't want to encroach on that. This is where we can kind of make some of these more organic shapes around this neighborhood. So yeah, we're gonna have this like road that will wind around a little bit around here. Let's see what we want to do here. Let's do this. This will be the best way to do it. It's gonna cut a straight line across. This might even be temporary, but we want to just have that as our base point. And then what we'll do is kind of connect this as best we can to make these 90s across. Even do one more here as bring this one all the way up. Might actually look different in this, but again, we're just trying to get this be on some kind of grid here. This might not be final, but basically I just wanted to put in some road, different layouts so we can kind of reserve this area for maybe a forest or forest reserve, something along those lines. But then I'll just kind of show out that like we have this grid here, but we can kind of start to get a little bit more unique with the pattern. So this is more just for future planning. I won't put too much in here. Let's just kind of fill in maybe some trees around here. But the idea just basically, again, to have this for future planning and stuff. And then maybe just this little zoning right here we'll put in. But basically wanted to do something along those lines just so we have that there. I think that also shows we kind of have a way to break up some of the grid stuff in the future, but keep it on still some nice alignments. So yeah, let's pop down a few more things here and then we'll wrap this up for this episode. And with that, we hit Big Town, a milestone for 8,000 people. This is a great one for us to have now. We can do campuses for colleges. We get now way more types of residential and office buildings. We have our new high density stuff unlocked, more roads, some new buildings. This will be fantastic for us to pick up on the next episode as we continue to expand our city and add in more stuff to it. So fantastic. We will continue with that on Big Town on the next episode. I want to express my sincere appreciation to each and every one of you, my amazing pizza dogs, for your continued support, comments, and likes. Your engagement fuels my passion for creating content and motivates me to bring you more episodes. If you haven't already, make sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and join our Discord community. It's the perfect place to connect with fellow city builders, share screenshots, ask questions, and exchange tips and ideas. Once again, I am Z Reezy, and thank you for being a part of this incredible journey. Until next time.